I am Honam Gun from Department of Infectious Disease, Keio University School of Medicine. Thank you for giving a chance to present at KGRI 研究成果発表会. I'm going to present about interdisciplinary approach to understand the actual situation of long COVID and create treatment strategies. SARS-CoV-2 spread rapidly across the globe, including Japan. Since the latter half of 2020, the various systemic symptoms have been reported to persist, so even after the acute phase of COVID-19, and which is called long COVID. So before the emergence of long COVID, to elucidate host genetic factors of COVID-19, a Keio University group established the Japan COVID-19 Task Force in early 2020 as a nationwide multi-center consortium to overcome the COVID-19 pandemic situation in Japan. Since the beginning of the pandemic, the Japan COVID-19 Task Force has longitudinally collected DNA, RNA, and plasma, so along with detailed clinical information. And the collected bioresources have been stored for multi-omics analysis towards open science for the community, or for the science community. So these collaborative research networks are composed of community hospitals, especially from Keio University-related hospitals using strong Keio networks. In just 2 months since the start of the research project in May 2020, a network of more than 100 collaborating medical institutions across the country has been established. And we made a foundation for a biobank and a prospective cohort, and which has been established. So with tremendous support from collaborative medical institutions, as of today, March 2024, so more than 6,500 cases are enrolled, and the Japan COVID-19 Task Force becomes the largest cohort with clinical samples in Asia. So using this cohort, very fortunately, we were able to discover severe COVID-19 host genetic factors, DOC2, and this variant is observed not in European populations, but in Asian populations. And also, during COVID-19 pandemic, in the summer 2020, Japanese government focused on the strong Japan COVID-19 Task Force networks and also Keio University networks. So they asked us to use this cohort to investigate the actual situation and the further surveillance of long COVID. So from the beginning of long COVID emergence, so we noticed and believed that not only medical issues, but also social and economic issues is very important, and the social and economic approach are very, very essential for a comprehensive understanding of long COVID. So for this purpose, from the beginning of long COVID surveillance, we created interdisciplinary Keio team composed of School of Medicine and the Faculty of Economics and KGRI. Since we already collected detailed inpatient medical networks whose number was almost 200 items, so in addition to this clinical data, so we designed patient questionnaires including general long COVID symptoms, and also, so besides these medical aspects, to survey social and economic aspects, we include various international QOL questionnaires, SSU8, EQ5D5L for general QOL, HAD scales for depression, and the Pittsburgh Sleep Quality Net Index for sleep, and the labor productivity of WHO HPQ presentism for, and also the fear of COVID-19 scale for fear scale. So to further investigate socio-economic conditions of long COVID, so we created original questionnaires regarding income, jobs, occupation, employment status, and a family component, education, and the caregiving status, and the child care. To efficiently obtain these comprehensive data, we have developed a smartphone application, as you can see the lower right side. So at the time point of 3 months and 6 months and 12 months after admission, so these questionnaires were sent to all inpatients at nearly 25 hospitals using this Japan COVID-19 task force networks. So this is patient enrollment flow diagram. So we sent 2,923 invitation letters for research participation. So among them, more than 1,000, concretely 1,200 subjects agreed to this participation. So this is a gross data of overall symptoms at 3 and 6, 12 months after a diagnosis of COVID-19. So commonly observed long COVID symptoms in at least 10% of patients at 3 months were fatigue and dyspnea and muscle weakness and alopecia and poor concentration. And we also analyzed long COVID symptoms by each clinical category. So we found that long COVID are more common in women and middle-aged and more severely ill patients during hospitalizations. So these clinical data are adapted as Japanese original data in the Japanese long COVID official guideline announced by the Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare. So left figure is proportion of patients with indicated number of symptoms at each time points, so 3 and 6 and 12 months. So approximately 1/3 of the patients still presented with at least one symptom at 12 months. And the right figure is a heat map showing the form of the onset of each symptom. Fever and the cough and the rarely relapsed. On the other hand, so memory impairment and alopecia and eye-related symptoms and poor concentrations were often observed in patients who did not experience these symptoms during hospitalization. So from these data, we can categorize the symptoms of long COVID-19 by the pattern of the symptoms. And we also performed cluster analysis by symptoms. So by clustering, the symptoms are classified into 5 subgroups, which is various symptoms group, and a no long COVID group, and a taste and a smell disorder group, and the dyspnea without cough and sputum group, and the dyspnea with cough and sputum group. So regarding the QL, quality of life score, no long COVID group and the taste and smell disorders group is highest. And the next is dyspnea with cough and sputum group. And the second worst group is dyspnea without cough and sputum group. And the worst group is a various symptom group. We also analyze the symptom and each QL score, depression, anxiety, fear, and sleep status by questionnaire. So expectedly, if subjects at least one symptom, long COVID, so the QL score and the depression score, anxiety score, and the fear score, and the sleep status at 3 months are worsened. So furthermore, in this KGRI project, in order to evaluate the economic aspects, we focused on the presentism, WHO presentism questionnaire, by dividing the patients, non-long COVID group, and the long COVID recovered group, and the long COVID persistent group. So then what is the WHO presentism? There are 2 types of presentism. So one is absenteeism, is when someone frequently does not show up for work or another regular commitment. And the presentism refers to the situations where individuals are at work but experience reduced productivity due to health issues. So these are the patient characteristics, for among non-long COVID groups and long COVID recovered group and long COVID persistent group. And if they have the living with spouses, long COVID persistent, the ratio of the living with spouses is the lowest in the long COVID persistent group. And also, number of hospital visits per month is the highest in long COVID persistent group. so which suggests that this is a high burden for the society when they have the long COVID persistent symptoms. And this is absolute presenteeism score data. We evaluate at the 3 months and the 6 months and 12 months. And also, this is absolute presenteeism data. As you can see here, absolute presenteeism of the 3 groups at the 3 months and the 6 months and 12 months. Long COVID persistent group has the worsened absolute presenteeism, so which means that the low productivity only even at the work. So we can calculate the total economic growth from these data. So when compared with the non-long COVID groups, long COVID persistent group experienced 249万円 economic growth, so which is 2.5 million yen. Apparently, this is a high social economic burden, and that's why we have to analyze more for these groups, also from the economic status. As a conclusion, long COVID extends beyond medical problems to include social and economic challenges, highlighting the need for a collaborative effort from various scientific disciplines. Thank you for attention.